Hello everybody and welcome to the very first video on my new channel, Big Cat Picking. I wanted to do a lockpicking 101. This is a very basic 101 for people that are brand new to this hobby or this sport, depending on what route you decide to take, and hopefully help you out a little bit and get you started down the road. So the first things first, I know a lot of people probably resort to places like Amazon looking for the best lockpick sets or something of that sort. And that is just not a good thing to do because you need to buy from reputable tool sellers. Covert Instruments is one of my favorite. Sparrows is great. Peterson, I've heard a lot of poor things about the people that run that company or the man that runs that company. I don't know that to be true myself. I don't really know anything about it, but I do enjoy his lockpicks. They are a little expensive for someone just starting out. But you'll see a lot of sets that have all sorts of different tools, bypass knives and 15 different rakes and half diamonds and all kinds of stuff like that. And realistically, guys, it can be a little overwhelming when you're first starting out. I personally believe the best thing you can do when you first start is to get a small set like this that has a couple of rakes and a couple of basic hook picks, and then just a few different size tension wrenches, just so you can experiment on different locks. Now these are double end tension wrenches, so you can do bottom of the keyway and top of the keyway tension, which we'll explain that in a different video. But just don't go buy the biggest kit that you can. And this kit that I just showed you, like I said, I'm going to go over later on. That kit was bought brand new with a case for less than $30, and it is fantastic. I have picked up to a green belt lock with that. Now, if you don't understand what a green belt lock is, that moves me on to my next point. So all of these locks back here that you see in the background, I have picked all of those. Pretty much that entire back row minus the puck back here. I don't know what that would rank as, but the rest of that back row are all green belt locks. So some Redditors at some point on the subreddit Lockpicking took it upon themselves to create a ranking system that is based off karate belts. So it's white through black, white being the easiest, black being the hardest. And when you get into more advanced belts, there are some prerequisites that you have to meet. But it's lpubelts.com, and it's really nice because even if you choose not to partake in the belt system and actually try to get ranked, it still gives you a good idea of where to go once you feel comfortable with a lock like this acrylic lock. This acrylic lock does apply as a white belt lock. And we're going to go over how this functions here in just a second. But the ranking doesn't necessarily mean anything. It's just flair that you can get on the Lockpicking Reddit and on Discord that will show up whenever you're talking to other people. So people may be a little more prone to listen to the things that you have to say, especially if you're trying to help out somebody new. I myself, currently a green belt, I have picked a blue belt lock. I just have yet to do it on video. I've only done it the one time, but I'll be working on that soon. And that, as I stated, will be a part of the videos I plan to have coming. But anyway, so if you get your kit, you're looking up different locks, get a couple that you want to try out. I guess you kind of need to understand how these locks work. So let's go ahead and see if I can get you guys zoomed in here without messing this up too bad. So the way this works, this brass piece down here is your cylinder or your plug. And you guys can see there are these 5 pins sticking out of the top. Try to get you centered up here. There are these 5 pins sticking out of the top that have springs on top of them. And when you stick a pick in here, you're going to hit the key pins, which in turn hit what you guys can see, which are the driver pins. You guys can see those moving up and down. The way that works is where those two pins meet is called the shear line. Once you set all of these keyway pins up high enough to push these driver pins out of the way, it will allow that cylinder to rotate. So I'm going to try and rake this real quick. This is a very easy lock. The problem I have currently is the way that I have this clamped in my vise. My wrench hit the top of this. I was able to get it a moment ago, but I'm going to try and give you guys an idea of what this looks like if I can get a full open. Which this is just a standard, was that 4-peak rake? Very basic, 25 thousandths. It's what your standard picks typically come in. But I'm just going to make these jump up and down. And this wrench might be a little too wide for this keyway. But the whole point is, I'm trying to get all these pins to bounce into the same spot while applying very, very, very light tension. And I'm sitting on the vise. So I think the cylinder's open. Let me see. Yeah. So that did open. But you want to get all those pins essentially captured in the same place, just high enough that they push all those driver pins above that shear line. That technique I just showed you, I'm pretty sure I stated it a few times, is called raking. I will go more in depth with that later on. But then you also have single pin picking, which same thing, you know, you're going to put the tension wrench in there. Typically with the single pin picks, depending on the lock, most of the time I will be using top of the keyway tension. Sure, give you guys a good look at that. Bottom of the keyway, which is what I just did to rake, just like that. So I can actuate the rake right above that to hit those pins. Top of the keyway, I'm going to use this smaller side of this wrench here. I'm just going to hold it in the top. Same concept. I'm going to apply light tension. It's not clamped in there very well, but I'm going to apply light tension. And I'm going to use this to hit those pins one at a time. When you do that, sometimes you may hear a click, sometimes you may feel a click, sometimes you may not hear or feel anything at all, and you can do something that's called bitch picking, which is essentially where you just rock this up and down gently, back and forth, until you get all the pins set. It's almost like a form of raking with a single pin hook. But these are good to start with, these acrylic locks. The issue that you see with people that typically start with these is they get in a bad habit of wanting to watch the pins while they're doing it. So if you guys practice with this, I mean, obviously I understand if you want to look at it when you first try it to see what those pins are doing, but you really should look at this head on and just focus using your finger lightly on that tension wrench. The majority of locks that I've picked, especially doing top of the keyway tension, I don't really have to press down on these wrenches too hard. I'll basically just stick it in there and just kind of let my finger rest on top of it like that. Let's see if I can get a better rake this time. Well, I won't be able to on top of the keyway. Yeah, let's see if I can get a better rake in hand. So, you see I got that in the bottom. I apologize, guys. I'm trying to hold this where you can see it. There we go. That looks better. And you want the point facing down. Maybe. I've picked locks much harder than this. This is a little embarrassing that I can't get this on camera. But it happens. You have your good days, you have your bad. Picking in a vise and picking in hand, I'm trying to keep it on camera here, are completely different, as well as picking a lock that is mounted. Yeah, we're going to set that down for now because I'm going to get frustrated with the fact that I can't get that open. But this is a good place to start. But another problem I see with these is they are easy to get your first couple of opens, especially with raking. You're going to get bored with them very, very quickly. So that's where the Belt Explorer comes in, because you can look and see, okay, I'm comfortable with this white belt lock. What is another white belt lock, or maybe even a yellow belt lock I can go to and try to challenge myself a bit more? And it's just it's a really good resource. I started using that whenever I learned about it, and it really gives you a lot of options. The hardest part, honestly, especially once you get into the higher security locks, are finding locks that are available here in the U.S. But if you don't want to do that, if you want to try and practice security pins without buying a bunch of padlocks, Sparrows makes a fantastic set of training locks that are very similar, which these have some very special pins in. I don't want to show that one. I think these are all standard. Yeah, here we go. So they make these locks you can buy. I don't know how well you guys can see down in there, but they come with these little keys that are cut in here, and you can actually see the pins in the side and the springs and see what they're doing. So I just held up 4 different ones. That was all just regular pins. I have another one that has very special looking driver pins in it. That's all spool pins. We'll go over that in a later video. And then I have one that's all serrated pins. So those practice locks are a really good resource as well. And it goes back to what I was saying about beginner sets. They have one, I believe it's called the Tuxedo Night School Edition. I'm not entirely sure what the price is. I think it's around like $100. I'd have to double check that. But it does come, I believe, with these training locks, and these are a fantastic resource. But I understand you guys, if you don't know it's something that you want to do or you're going to stick with, you don't want to spend a bunch of money right out of the gate. So that's why, if that's the boat you're in, I would find just a basic 4 or 5 pick set, get one of these acrylic locks, and then if you get that open and you decide you like it, maybe, switch to some hardware store locks, your normal off-the-shelf locks you can buy at Walmart. But it's a really fun hobby, and I do have an entire list of videos I plan on doing. I'm doing them in a very specific order, and I wanted to do this one first because, like I said, this was for the brand new picker that's wondering where they should start. Very simple. Couple of cheap practice locks, whether they be acrylic, whether you want to start out directly with a off-the-shelf, cheap, master lock number 3, and just pick, man. Now, there's videos out there, all kinds of techniques. Another good pick you guys will see, I forgot to mention this earlier. Let's get it on camera here. There you go. This snake rake. This is a fantastic profile for your low security locks. That is another good one to learn with. It's very quick. But I think that's all I got for you today, guys. I probably got another 12 videos I can crank out right now. I'm going to upload them, as I go, try to get it done. But please, if this helped you at all, let me know if there's any other advice I could possibly offer. I'm a novice myself, and I'm fully aware of that, but I'm trying to answer the questions that I had with the answers that I've received, and hopefully you guys can gain something from that. But I appreciate you guys taking the time to watch. If you did enjoy this, please hit the like button, and if you would like to see the rest of the videos that I plan on putting out, hit that subscribe button, and I hope to see you guys in the next one. Everybody take care. Thank you.